We are back in the kitchen with Chef Jennifer Anderson from Wildfish Grill, cooking some delicious pulled pork and this yummy polenta. Yeah. But we're not done with the pork yet, right?
Not
we did
quite
the brine.
done with the pork. All we have to do really is season it and get it in the oven. And one of the things I actually really like about this, you know, coming into football season, it's a great Sunday family dinner, but it can also be something you do during the work day. Put it in the crock pot, put it on low, and leave it. It'll be ready for dinner when you get home. So that's what's great about that.
How long would we put it in the crock pot for?
You know, if you put it on low, you'd want to have it in there for about 8 to 10 hours.
Okay.
In the oven, we're going to do it at 350 for about 4 to 6 hours. Okay. Honestly, with something like this, with the broth that we're going to add to it, it really is going to have a hard time overcooking. That's the great thing about this.
That's what we want to hear, because sometimes it's stressful not knowing what's going on at home when you're not there.
All we're going to do is add a little bit of kosher salt and black pepper to it. I like to add a little bit of red pepper flakes. It's if you like some heat to it as well. That's not going to give it too much heat.
Right, because you have
nice hint of spice.
Exactly, because this is going to be sitting in the brine, so I would think it sort of comes off. Or
yeah, a little bit. And then what I did is I took some fennel seed and crushed it up a little bit here. At home, if you have a coffee grinder, that's an easy way to crush up some whole spices too. Sprinkle that over the top, and then I like to zest it with a little bit of lemon and give it some citrus flavors.
This smells like licorice.
That's what fennel and tarragon both have a really licorice scent and flavor to them. We're going to add a little bit of chicken broth to the bottom of the pan.
Oh, it
just
keeps
enough
getting
to
better.
Come up about halfway. We're going to stick that in the oven, and 4 to 6 hours later, we have wonderful pulled pork.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
And do we need to cover that?
You want to start it out so it gets some really nice golden color. Okay. After about an hour, you can pull it out and cover it and let it go the rest of the way. While that's going on, we can start making our polenta. What I've done is take some milk and some water and let that come up to a boil. Add a little bit of butter.
Now, we will have the recipe online, but are we doing equal parts of each? Or?
We are doing equal parts, and it just, again, it depends on the batch that you want to make. Polenta or cornmeal really soaks up a lot of that liquid. So what we've done here is about 2 cups of milk, 2 cups of water. Again, if you have extra chicken broth, you can use the chicken broth. That's going to give the polenta even some more flavor than the water if you want to do that. We're going to let that come up to a boil. One great thing about polenta, you want to whisk it after you get it in to prevent any clumps. But after that, you can kind of just really let it go for a simmer. So you can see that we really want to make sure.
Now, do you measure, or did you already measure?
I already measured here. I'll be honest, I don't measure a lot. But,
so, if you don't
if you don't,
then what are you looking for?
What you're looking for is really the creaminess that you want. You know, you're going to determine how creamy you want it. I prefer a creamy polenta myself, but if you've seen the tubes of polenta in the store, that's going to be polenta that's cooked all the way through that you can slice and then cook.
Oh yeah, so I make a cornmeal mush.
Exactly. So
flour it, put some syrup on it.
Yeah, exactly. So it just depends on how creamy you want it, and you just kind of want to watch it during the cooking process and see how much of the liquid it's absorbing and the texture really that you want. And so then we're going to let that simmer. You just need to stir it every few minutes. And then you can adjust your seasonings. We'll add some salt and pepper to it. I like to do fresh corn in my polenta as well.
Ooh, that's a little secret.
And you can just take it, cut it right off the cob, and then I just put it in raw. And then it's going to cook as your polenta cooks.
Oh, yum.
So that's a really easy way to do it. If you don't have fresh corn on the cob, it's not the time of year, you can easily buy frozen corn kernels at the store and add that as well.
Okay, great. So we're going to let you finish this up. And then when we come back, we are going to serve it all up and get it all ready.
Finish it all up.
Taste it.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Love having you on the show, Jennifer.